I'm Robin with Big Doodle Dreams, and this sweet girl is Mocha, and I am babysitting Mocha right now. She is one of my past puppies. She is a Sproodle, and if you look at her color, Mocha, she's a brindle. She's actually striped, and you can see her stripes on her coat, and she's a young girl, just 8 months old. Her parents are smaller. She'll probably finish just over 30 pounds will be her total adult weight. But she is a Sproodle, and that's not the subject of my video, like normal. But she's being babysat. She's gonna get to go home pretty soon. And you know, the topic of babysitting is a pretty important topic, because there will be times when you may have to leave your dog somewhere. And you really need to plan that out before that time comes. You shouldn't wait till the last minute, but you should also be prepared for when, you know, you have an emergency. There's something that's happened somewhere across the country and you've got to get up and you've got to go, and your whole world just got turned upside down. And if you didn't think about this beforehand, you might be sitting there going, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do with our dog? And those are those times where you really should have had a plan in place. So getting a plan in place ahead of time is really good, but knowing your dog and knowing what your dog is going to be able to handle is really important as well. If your dog stresses out with going for car rides and going to strange places, then leaving your dog at a kennel may not be the best choice. Your vet usually would have an area set aside for times when you have to board. But again, if your dog is not accustomed to a crate, is not accustomed to barking, it could be very stressful. And I will tell you that when I babysit, that first 24 hours, most dogs are like, what, where am I at? Why did they leave me here? When are they coming back? And it's very obvious to me. They don't eat as much, they nibble, they take sips, they'll come out and they'll go to the bathroom. I mean, they do the typical behaviors that you want them to do, you know, toileting outside and such, but clearly they're trying to make that big adjustment to this new environment that you've left them in. So when you are gonna board, there's a few things you need to keep in mind. One, you need to have your shot record all the way up to date, because you don't wanna leave your dog somewhere and have them get something, but also, if it's an emergency and your shots aren't done, they're not gonna let you leave your dog. So having your shot record available and ready for those emergency situations, having more than one option, because some boarding facilities, they may be over, full, crowded. Your vet may be crowded. In an emergency situation, you should have more than one choice, because you don't want to be in that situation where you plan for one place and they can't take your dog because they're too full. So make sure you have your shot record up to date. Make sure you have more than one option. And when you are going to leave your dog, bring all of their items, their food, their favorite toy, their bed, whatever they're used to, that they are accustomed to, you need to bring that to the place where you're going to be leaving your dog to board. And then also, you've got multiple options. You could always have somebody come in to your house, but that goes back into that trust situation. Who's it going to be? Are they reliable? Will they be there? Will they take your dog out? These are things you have to figure out. The one thing I have to tell you is probably one of the most important things: crate training. Because if you have that emergency and your dog is not used to a crate, it'd be way worse for them. Having your dog accustomed to a crate, sleeping in a crate, being used to it will make that time when you're gone that much easier. So that, yes, you want your dog to be loose in your house, but you do want your dog to be accustomed to that crate. It's safety. If you're leaving your dog and they're not used to that crate, they could become very, very, very stressed because of being put in a crate they're not used to. So keep all those things in mind when you begin to look for a person that will babysit. I do babysit, but I typically only babysit my dogs that were born here, that were raised by me, which she is, and I limit it. I limit it to 2, because anything more than 2 for me is just too much, because I do want to take them for a walk, which is what we do. We go for a long walk in a big yard, and she gets her free time loose in the house. She gets similar to what she might be getting at home. You know, so for her, this is where obviously she's very comfortable. Very comfortable. We just were groomed and now we're gonna get wet in the soggy leaves. So be it. Sproodles love water, so it's hard to keep them dry anyway. But I hope that you will plan for your next vacation, plan to have more than one place, plan to take your dog there, plan to look at it, plan to make sure that it's the right place, and plan everything ahead of time. Have your shot record, have everything that your dog needs before that emergency arises. Because when the emergency arises, you are going to be in panic mode and you are not going to think about what your dog needs. Having everything listed, what you need to do, it'll make it so much easier. So plan ahead, be ready, and find the right place that can take care of your dog when you're gone. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel, visit my website, and I will talk to you soon.